What's going on, everybody? This is Marcus from Black Married and Debt Free, and I'm flying this plane solo today, but I have a guest that I'm really excited to bring to you. I always say this: when you have friends, you want to have friends that can present you with opportunities. And this gentleman, I can truly call him a friend, and it started with him presenting me an opportunity. He's my friend, but he's also, I consider him like a business partner.
Wow.
You've heard me share, on some of our YouTube videos about our different streams of income, one of which is me being a partner with Loop Gospel, a website that creates tracks for churches that don't have musicians. And this gentleman is the CEO of that company, the creator.
Wow.
And man, I'm glad that I can call him a friend and, kind of pick his brain. So everyone, welcome to the Black Married and Debt Free podcast, my friend, John Mike Williams. What's going on, John?
See, that shows how close you are. The fact that you actually know my last name. That's what's so funny. The fact that you know my last name, because there's people that actually think my last name is Mike, and I am absolutely content with that.
Right.
To the point where I put that persona on so much and so quick to where I'll tell people, like, they be like, "Yo, so your name is John Mike?" Yeah.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah, that's cool. John Mike. I always say the guy with two first names. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. His last name's John Mike.
Right.
It's just like, okay, cool. Because people don't want people, the less pieces of information that they have on you, the better. Because if you're out there looking for John Mike and everything else is, my regular name, that's you looking in the wrong direction, and I'm content with that. But anyway, man, go ahead.
John, man, yeah, absolutely. Now, John, I want you to first share with the audience a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your backstory, and what brought you to where you are now in life and in business as an entrepreneur.
Wow. What do you want, the long or short version?
Let's go with the long version.
Oh no, man, we'll be here all day long. I don't want to be here all day with you on that. But no, for those who don't know, like he did a pretty good synopsis and of what I do and who I am. I'm a musician, producer. I currently reside in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I am formerly born and bred in Jackson, Tennessee, which is right outside of Memphis, Tennessee. I always tell people I'm from Memphis. I just say Memphis. That's what I do. I'm mainly I call myself a serial entrepreneur. Because Loop Gospel is one of my businesses, one of my many businesses. I also do master classes. I run a full-time YouTube channel. I produce music. I mix and master pretty much everything that has to do with music. I just about do it or connected to it in some way, form, or fashion. Run a recording studio out of my basement here. So I have clients that come in and out. So I do a actual public recording studio. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Father, 6 kids, 3 girls, 3 boys. The oldest is 14. My babies are 8 years old, twins, 3 girls, 3 boys. That's just pretty much me. I'm just a guy just getting up and doing everything I can do to, keep taking care of my family.
That's so wonderful. Now, one thing that I admire about John is that, like you said, he's a serial entrepreneur, and he's always been that way since I've known him. I knew him before some of the new businesses that have sprung up, but he's always thinking of what's that next thing I can do. And, he's very innovative in that respect. So, John, what birthed that in you? Where did that come from? That serial entrepreneurship mindset? Like, how did you develop that?
Oh, that's easy. I have kids. That's the bottom line foundation to everything that I have, is the fact that I have 6 kids. And that is the baseline that drives literally everything that I do. Because, and I think we were sharing a little bit about it before we got on and started the actual stream. I think about because of the amount of children I have, that's 6 kids, that's 6 cars I got to buy.
Right.
That's 6 college educations. You know what I'm saying? That's 6 cell phones I got to pay for. You know what I'm saying? That's 6 mouths I gotta feed. There's 6, clothes and the shoes and everything is in pairs of 6 that I gotta do. 3 girls, that's 3 weddings I gotta pay for. You know what I'm saying? So that is the baseline literal motivation that drives me to do everything that I do now. I think it started because my wife, of course, she doesn't work, and we homeschool our kids. So we decided about 8 years ago that we were going to go into this journey of homeschooling our children, and she was going to stay at home and be a stay-at-home mom and do that. And I was going to be the one that provided the income. Mm-hmm. So, of course, that changes your entire mindset of okay, now it's literally all on me. I don't have another second income that's coming in. So everything is a business. Right. Literally, we would start talking about something, or I get an idea to do something. I'm like, that's a business. That's not. Yeah. Let me just start a business for this. Let me go get this LLC real quick. I'm just being honest, but because it became the baseline motivation, because I want to keep my wife at home. I want to keep her stress free. I want to keep her from having to worry about how the financial, the house, the curriculum, everything that she's needing to continue teaching them at home full time is alleviated. All that pressure is alleviated off of her. So I needed to figure out how I can generate multiple sources of income to keep finances coming into the house so we can start building wealth and getting ready for college educations and all of these things that come along with being a father and a parent and all of those things.
You said a key word to our listeners. I know you've heard me say it once already, and John said it. Multiple streams of income. So let's talk about that, John.
Okay.
One is why is that important in your opinion? Why is it important to not just have all your, as I've heard you say, all your eggs in one basket, but especially with what we're going through right now, I think we can really elaborate on that. But why do you think that's important, John?
Well, even looking at that analogy of all your eggs in one basket, if you put everything in one basket and somebody knocks the basket over or you drop the basket, then all your eggs break along with it. Right. So I made it a practice never to really, like you said, put everything that I'm doing into one basket. It's easy to do. And there are hooks that I could literally probably link a lot of my businesses in together with. And there are a couple that actually do link in together. Definitely. But what I've made it a practice of doing is trying to keep as much separate as possible. One, so I can give it the individual focus it needs. Because I know this day is the day I'm working on this business or this particular thing. And this day is the day that I'm working on this, or this part of the day I'm working on that. And the next part of the day, next half of the day, I'm working on this, so it allows me to kind of help my focus keep divided. But also the key thing in it is that it allows me to be prepared in situations like this and things that we're going through with the whole outbreak and all of that stuff like that, to where I don't have to worry about my main source of income has been cut off. Well, I've got several other streams that are flowing towards me that can continue to pay, this, or keep me afloat while this is going on and that's going on. So that's my main reason why I believe that you should have multiple sources, because, you just never know if one stream, what stream is if this stream dries up, you'd have another stream that you can pull from, that you can draw from. And it also helps you to continually building wealth, because you can have one stream that is your main thing, that's paying all of your bills, your monthly bills, keeping the lights on, keeping food on the table. And then you can have another source of income that is, this is strictly building and it's coming in and I'm just putting it straight into investment. Or this stream of income is coming in and it's taking care of this and it's getting ready. It's preparing this college education fund that I'm building my kids. And so it allows you to keep things kind of flowing towards you, so to speak, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, John. And I love that. Now, the fact that you went into full-time entrepreneurship, we have some people that say, okay, I'm just going to be in the workforce and I'm going to have a job working 9 to 5. You have some people like myself who do dabble in both. And you decided, you know what? I want to be a full-time entrepreneur. What made you decide to go that route?
I don't like people telling me what to do. That's just the bottom line. That's the source of 98% of the arguments in my house, is because I am just I'll be honest, I am a very egotistical person. I just am. I have a really big ego, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I don't do well with people and telling me what to do, and that was the baseline of with entrepreneurship. I go to work. It's like I gotta be here at 4:00 a.m.
Right,
and I can't leave until 6 p.m. And I gotta do it again tomorrow.
Right.
Nah. For how much? You're smoking. Yeah. So that was that just was my. I never dealt well with 9 to 5 jobs. I'd never worked them long. And someone told me, I can't remember who it was, but somewhere down the line, they just told me, and he was like, "You're not cut out for like 9 to 5 work. You need to have your own business."
Right.
You just need to have your own business, because you don't do well. You like to do your own thing. Yeah. And then the other point of it is that I am I just think my mind moves faster than a lot of people, at least a lot of people that I was, surrounded by. Right. Like I was always thinking of, like, my ideas were always like, my brain was always doing that. And everybody else is like, yo, that's cool, but I got to go to work tomorrow. I'm glad you enjoying that,
right?
That you want to do that. But, I'd be on the line talking to people at the, in the factory and telling them about all these ideas. And they're like, yeah, that's cool. Can you put that part together and sit it down here before we get fired, though? Like, I'm glad you're having all these ideas, but like, stop throwing your hands around and put them on, just, do the job. So when I started to understand that, when I started to understand that about myself and the type of person I was, it was an easy transition. And I was able to kind of push into it and, and just really embrace it, that this is what I am. Right. And for the last I've been a business owner for the last 20 years of my life. Wow. I've been full-time, probably like full-time, probably the last close to 15 years. Wow, man. So, yeah.
Yeah. And John, you sparked something when you were explaining that. How important can you, I'd love to get your opinion on how important your surrounding is, because like I shared with you all on the front end of this, John is a good friend of mine, and I don't think John, how much I appreciate our conversations, and I kind of look to you, like a big bro kind of, and I see the different things you do. I'm like, you know what, that's a good idea. And you help keep things turning in me. So for you, one, I guess a 2-part question. Okay. Have you surrounded yourself with people or mentors and things like that? And the second part is, how important do you think that has been for you?
Oh, absolutely. Mentorship and it's a word I'm looking for that I can't call, but it's basically that unilateral relationship that you have, that horizontal relationship that you have with people that are, the word escapes me, but that horizontal relationship that you have with people. So you need it as a business owner or as a dreamer, so to speak, because most entrepreneurs, we are dreamers,
Right.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure a lot of other entrepreneurs can identify. I talk to myself, I motivate myself. I'm self everything. I'm self-employed. So, I have business meetings with myself. I have staff meetings with myself,
right.
Where I just literally in the mornings I sit and like talk about what I'm going to do that day, and I have to say it out loud. So you have that relationship with self because you're self-employed, all of that stuff, self-motivated, self-driven. But you need that horizontal relationship with people that are like-minded where you are, that are going in the same direction to keep that strength going,
right.
And that kind of keep you motivated,
right,
and encouraged. You know what I mean? People that you can bounce ideas off of, and that's moving in the same. You're like, oh, that iron sharpens iron type mentality.
Right.
And then the second type of relationship you need, of course, is the mentor type relationship. That's those people that are where you want to be, and you pull from them, whether it's directly or indirectly. I have some indirect mentors, people that I glean from that I probably never have talked to, probably never will talk to, but I watch how they do things, and I model myself after what they do, what I've seen them do. And then I have some direct people that I talk to, that I pull from, that I ask advice from. So you have to kind of have that when you're getting into business for yourself and doing those things, to keep yourself driven, to know that you're going in the right direction, to stay motivated, while you're heading in that direction. And then you also need even some relationships, some almost mentee relationships that you have, because that's what I'm finding in this stage of my level of entrepreneurship, is that I spent a lot of time pouring into up and coming entrepreneurs, musicians, because that's the field that I work in. So I spend a lot of my days teaching and talking, and even the teaching aspect of it, the emptying of the glass, allows you to keep yourself full, because once you empty out what you have in your glass, you become hungry and you become thirsty again, and you like, okay, I gotta learn more, I gotta get more, I gotta glean more, I gotta grasp more, because I got people that are pulling from me, and they're wanting information and inspiration from me. So I feel like I need to fill myself up a little bit more so I can have something to give to them. So I think all three levels of those relationships, the mentee or people that you're actually pouring into, that, once you get to a certain place, and then that unilateral relationship, and then that mentor that you need. I think all three of those are important.
Man, you dropping gems, John. Like me and my wife, our listeners have heard us say this a few times, but sometimes we have guests on and they just go and drop so many gems. We just like jaw drop, like, man, we soaking it in right along with the listener. So that, and John, it's funny because you describe yourself in a nutshell, because you are consistently providing information. And that's one thing that I always notice about you. Like, yeah, you got your businesses, and there's some things that, hey, you just gonna have to pay for this. This ain't free. But
Absolutely.
You eat just as much as you do that. You're even more so, you give out free information. And I think like how you said, that leaves you empty so that you can receive more. And I think that that's a principle that a lot of people can really take and use that. So now, if one of our listeners is listening and they are saying to themselves, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to get in, I want to leave the 9 to 5. What should I do first? Or, what is some advice you would give to that person?
The biggest piece that I say this, I'm actually, and I'm speaking of information and stuff, I'm actually putting together an ebook. It's on like how to do music full time. Wow. I'm hoping to have it depending on when you release this, or it may already be out, or it may be on the way, but I'm putting the finishing touches on it right now. Like within the last couple of days, I've been putting these last finished touches on it, proofing it and doing some different things. And it's going to be free. It's actually going to be free information. Wow. Something free that I'm doing because it's just, I think at heart, I'm a teacher. That's my biggest gift. That's who I am. I'm a teacher. And so any day that I don't teach somebody something, I feel unproductive. I feel like I didn't accomplish my goal for the day, because that teaching is my passion. So one of the keys that I outline in this ebook and this thing that I'm putting together is you have to deal with the ends means problem. That is the biggest thing to doing music full time. That is your key point, because you've heard the saying, the ends justify the means, or the ends must justify the means. Most people try to focus on the ends without justifying their means. And so the means is how you get to the end. But we always start out running with the end in mind. Yeah. Like, I want to replace something as simple as replacing the 9-to-5 income. I make X amount a week. And so we start pushing into trying to get the ends, and we don't deal with the means that justify our ends. I'm trying to take my time with it to make sure that I communicate it properly. But so your means could be your, and I'll try to condense it as much as possible. And like I said, there'll be a full kind of thing in this little ebook that I'm working on. But your means are what justify those ends that you have, like your car notes, the things that you're thinking about paying, your car note, your bills, your expenses, all these things that are kind of holding you into this 9-to-5, because I have to work this so I can make this income so I can take care of these means that I have. You know, that's pretty much what they are. And so you're trying to push this business to make all of these ends so you can justify them all without, dealing with it. So what you have to do is do the one thing that most people don't want to do. And it's an S word that we all hate. And it's called sacrifice. Most of us don't like to give up things in order to justify. We want to have our cake and eat it too. You know what I mean? We want to, have this great business, and this business to be profitable enough to cover everything that we're doing, but we don't want to make the necessary sacrifices needed to justify those means. So what I had to do to really do music full time, I had to deal with my means. I had to cut some things. I had to get off of cable, and I had to go down to Netflix. I'm talking about, at the time, I remember I had got the cheapest plan they could get. It was like $4.99. Yeah. You only had one screen, one device. That's all you could have. Like, we cutting cable and we going to Netflix. That's it. Right. Cable and $4.99 a month Netflix. You know what I mean? We cut our phone. We got off the AT&T, Verizon. We got off of the expensive phone plans. Got out of the whole jump program where you got to pay for your phone each month. And stuff. Right. Got out all of that. Cut all of that out, and went to prepaid cell phones. Wow. Went to prepaid cell phones, $30 a month for the bill, unlimited everything, got all the way down to that. We dealt with the means. You know what I mean? We had to get our means so low so that we can justify them. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that was the biggest thing. It was a big sacrifice. date night instead of going to, Benihana's, you know what I'm saying? Go to Ruth Chris, you know what I'm saying? We had we had to go to McDonald's and Taco Bell, and then there were nights when we couldn't even afford that. We would go get a bowl of hamburger helper, and we would light some candles, and we would sit out on our back porch, and we would eat a meal, and we'd lock the door so the kids couldn't, come out. And we would sit out there and have our moment, like in the backyard on the deck. Right. You know what I'm saying? And just be quiet and love each other there. So we had to make those sacrifices in order to make it happen. So I remember a young man I talked to a few years ago. He talked about this same thing. Like, he wanted to do music full time. And so he reached out to me to pick my brain and ask me, like, advice of what he should do. And the first thing I asked him was like, how much do you make a year? And he was like, I make about 75 just by myself. He said, my wife makes, this, and combined we make that. And he's like, but, I want to walk away from all of this, and I want to do music full time. And so I told him, I said, well, you're going to have to sacrifice. I said, what kind of car you drive? And he told me it was whatever, it was car note $700-800 a month, and this was $500 a month, and he had this bill. And I was like, bro, you got to cut like all of that. Wow. And it was almost like the same. The response I got back from him was pretty much the same response that Jesus got back from the rich young ruler. It's like, he walks away in sorrow because he had to sell it. Yeah, it's like, I got to sell it. I got to get rid of this car. I got to stop buying these Jordans every weekend. I got to, because you said that you want to do business full time. And the problem with doing business full time is, depending on what you do, most of us as entrepreneurs and business owners, our income does this. Mm-hmm. It does that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It does this. But bills and car notes, they are this. They are steady.
Right.
Bills are steady. They will come every month, and they will, I don't know who Bill is, but Bill will come every month and knock on your door, or Bill will call you every month. Yeah. And he will tell you, hey, how's everything been going? How's your money been this month? Oh, having trouble? I don't care. You still got to pay me. So I'll be back. And they get their money. I'll be back next month. Yep. Bills are consistent. Yeah. And so you have to, because business income is always going to be like that. You have up quarters, you have down quarters. You have up months, you have down months, you have up weeks, you have down weeks. Right. So you have to deal with your means to where your means are always over this, under this rather. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. And that's the biggest thing the biggest piece of advice I always give entrepreneurs when they're saying like, yo, I'm ready to do it. And if you're going to jump out there, don't jump without a plan. Right. Most people just say, do it, just jump. Yeah. Jump. What was it? What's that movie? I can't even think. That's a line in the movie where they're like, just jump. I can't think. Somebody in the comments is gonna know what movie that's from. I can't think of the line. I can see it and hear it in my head, but I can't. But if you're gonna jump, don't jump without a plan. A person that jumps out of a helicopter or jumps out of an airplane, they got a parachute on their back. Wow. Right. They jumping off they got a bungee cord tied to their ankle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody jumps without some sort of plan of how they're going to get from where they jump from to the ground. You gotta have a plan before you jump. And that is the biggest. And I know a lot of motivational speakers, they have to jump. You gotta jump. Yeah, like, what about jumping? Jumping out. Have a plan. Be prepared. Be intentional. And that was a lot of the mistakes I made early on in business. Wow. I jumped and I just jumped into stuff, and I did not have any sort of plan, any sort of direction. I just said, I'm going to do this. I had this idea to do this. And I just said, boom. I just jumped out and started doing it. Right. And 4, 5, 6, a year, months in, a year in, I'm like, nah, that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's not. This is unsustainable, or this is not. something I can keep up or something I can do, because I jump without a plan.
Yeah.
So those are my kind of key points I would give to entrepreneurs.
Man, that's good stuff, John. And I think I think a consistent thread from every entrepreneur that we've interviewed and we've asked that question is have a plan. Have a plan. You know, so like you said, so many of us, we just want to just dive out there, but having a plan is so important. And a new thing that you have been the first one that I heard say, the sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have to sacrifice before. You have to get used to that before you jump out there, because you said entrepreneur income is up and down, so you need to get that bill money underneath that bottom wave. You know, and that's it. That's so important, man. And so I think a lot of people see people who are successful and they just like, okay, all I got to do is just throw something online or start selling this. And it's like, no, it takes time and it has that plan, but it should first start with sacrifice. So, man, thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Now, John, you made mention of the ebook that's coming out. You have multiple businesses that I would love our listeners to check out and patronize. So can you let our listeners know exactly how they can find you and find some of the things that you have going?
Well, pretty much John Mike, just about anywhere. On Instagram is I'm John Mike. Facebook is just John Mike. Website is johnmike.net. That's just pretty much there. But some of the other resources that I have, of course, is loopgospel.com, formerly Gospel Multitracks. If you're a church or a musician that doesn't, wants to supplement your band, or you don't have a band at all at your church, this is a resource that, through the grace of God, I've been allowed to create and disseminate to, musicians and churches across the globe. We sell tracks, stems, all of that stuff like that. You can get that from our site, Loop Gospel. I have an educational site called gospelproducers.com for those who are interested in learning how to produce gospel. This is a website where I do master classes with top people in the industry. Top mix engineers, top producers, and musicians in different classes that we've taught on different things. I have a handful of more that are going to be dropping over the course of the next few months. That resource is there if you want to learn how to produce, and I have some other little things that's going to be coming with that. The name of the ebook is Mastering the Mindset to Making Music Full Time. That's going to be the name of the ebook. And it'll be available pretty soon, if it's not available already by the time you're watching this. And I'll send the link to Mark once it's ready, and he can update the description and all of that stuff like that. So you can check it out. But that's pretty much where I am and where you can find me and who I am.
Cool. Well, John Mike, man, we appreciate you being on the podcast this week. I know our listeners appreciate it as well. So everybody, we're going to talk to you on the next podcast, and I hope you guys stay safe and stay at home. All right.
Hey, yeah.
All right. Talk to you guys later. Peace.
Peace.
Perfect. Yo, so we hope you guys enjoyed that podcast episode. We hope that we said something that you can take away and apply. We are here to inform and to inspire. So do us a huge favor and don't forget to rate this podcast 5 stars on whatever platform you're streaming us. And if you want to become a supporter of the Black Married and Debt Free podcast, you can do so by clicking on the link below. That's it for now. Till next time, holla at you guys later.